Hi everyone, Richard here at Calvin Wazoo with another video for you, and this one's going to be a contest entry. Chris from Rekkid Talk is hosting a contest, and he's calling it the first anniversary contest. So there's 3 years that he selected. One, the anniversary of his birth year, so that would be the year he was 1 year old. Then the anniversary, I think the other one was the anniversary of when he graduated high school. So that would be actually, I'm not sure if he picked the year he graduated high school or if it was the year after, because the anniversary would be the year after, right? But whatever. That was 1988 for him, 1970 for the year he turned one, I believe. And then he chose the year 2001. And so, we can choose our own years or use the ones he selected. And I'm going to kind of do a combination. So here are my 3 records for this contest. And the first one is for my anniversary of my birth, so the year that I turned 1. And there are a lot of really, really great jazz albums that were released in 1959. And so it was kind of like, all right, which one do I choose? But I decided to go with this one, Mingus Hum. So yeah, Charles Mingus, because once I started listening to Charles Mingus, I just really, really loved his music. And there's so many varieties in his releases in terms of compositions and orchestrations and things like that. So, and this has got some great songs on here like Goodbye Pork Pie Hat, Better Get It in Your Soul. It's a really nice album. And, so this was released the year that I turned 1 year old. Now, the next year for me would be, I'm choosing 1977. So that would be the 1 year anniversary of my high school graduation. So I graduated in high school in 1976. So my 1 year anniversary is 1977 for that. And so the spring of 1977 and the fall of, so the spring of 1977, I was a freshman in college because I started in 76. And then in the fall of 1977, I was a sophomore. And what came out, in the fall of 1977 was this, Talking Heads 77. So this was the Talking Heads debut. I mean, geez, look at these guys. So, but I didn't hear anything from this album actually until the spring of 1978. And the significance of this anniversary year or whatever is I was attending at that time Western Michigan University, and I was preparing to transfer to the University of Arizona. And so in the spring of 1978, there in Kalamazoo, Western Michigan University, they had this thing going on called the Kite Festival. And so it was hosted out in this farm field, outside of the city of Kalamazoo. And I remember it being a kind of a cold, damp day because it was spring. And there were people out there flying kites, and there were kegs of beer all over the place, and lots of cannabis floating in the breeze, etc., etc. And the local college radio station had speakers set up there in the field, and I believe that there was a DJ there because the college radio station, pretty much you couldn't pick it up unless you were on campus. I don't even think they had 100 watts. I think they were broadcasting like at 80 watts or something like that. And anyway, I heard this song, Psycho Killer. And it just, you know, I never heard anything like this before. It just really, really blew my mind. So yeah, it was a important anniversary in that, wow, it was the first time I heard the Talking Heads. And then also, I made a major move in my life because I was, you know, still, even though I was living on campus, I was still living at home. And I made the decision that I was really going to just go out on my own. And that's when I transferred to University of Arizona in Tucson. Now, for the third record in the third year, I'm going to go with the year 2001, which was a year that Chris went with. And it isn't so much because it's an anniversary year, you know, following it. It wasn't necessarily an anniversary year, first anniversary of the year 2000. But there's some a lot of things interesting about the year 2001. You know, first of all, it's really the first year of the 21st century. You know, the year 2000 is still the 20th century because it is the 10th year of the decade of the 90s. You start a decade counting with year 1, and then you go up to year 10, okay? So that's just how I view it, okay? So 2001 is the first year of the 21st century, in my opinion. And, you know, it was September 11th, too amazing. You know, and amazing doesn't necessarily always mean good, all right? But two extraordinary things happened on September 11th, 2001. And of course, one of them was the terrorist attacks. And, you know, like any event similar to that, when you experience it, it's really kind of etched into your memory. You know, because I can remember I was a newspaper reporter and editor, and I remember coming into the newsroom and everybody had the TVs on in the newsroom, and I'm like, what's going on? What's going on? And we're like, I don't know, there's a plane crash. It flew into one of the World Trade Center towers in New York City. We're just watching it. So, you know, and I'm setting up at my desk and I'm looking at the TV up on the wall, and you know, that's when we saw the second plane crash into the other tower, and we all knew that it was no accident. The other extraordinary thing that happened on that day as well, that perhaps many people don't realize, is that Bob Dylan released a sort of comeback album of is one of his most remarkable recordings ever, and that is Love and Theft. This was released on September 11th, 2001. And yeah, this is just an absolutely incredible album. And I mean, it's hard to, sometimes it's hard for me to express how amazing, beautiful, thought-provoking, inspirational, happy, melancholy, all of these things that this album is. So that is my choice for the year 2001, the auspicious debut of Bob Dylan's Love and Theft on the same day that the terrorist attacks occurred in the United States. So there are my choices for Chris's contest. I'll have a link in the Down Under to his contest. It runs until about the middle of April. I think it's April 17th is when he's going to close it. Hope you enjoyed that. Leave some comments in the Down Under, please. And always remember to pray for the people inside your head, for they won't be there when you're dead.